Hey everybody, my name's Joe.
I'm also Joe.
Welcome back to SNES's Life. This is our recap episode number 26, covering the last 5 games we played. David Crane's Amazing Tennis, technically. Firepower 2000, John Madden 93, Gunforce, and Bulls vs. Blazers. Let's go ahead and get started. First up, David Crane's Amazing Tennis. Now this is only the second tennis game we've played.
Yeah.
And it looks really good, actually. It looks good.
Oh boy, sorry.
The
Graphically speaking, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think the game looks fine.
I think the only issue I had with how it looks is the angle at which the camera is set, because it's really hard to see anything on the back half of the court.
And that's going to come back to haunt it when we get the gameplay. Sound.
There wasn't much. There was
no music.
Smack of a ball.
Yep. It's another one of those sports games without music, which really suffers it. Gameplay wise was okay, but like Joey said in the graphics right there, it is super difficult when you're on the back half of the field to even hit that ball, because you lose sight of it all the time in the net, and it just makes it very difficult to play.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
That and the running, at least as far as I'm aware, only works when the ball is out of your zone.
Yeah. It has to be
so like if it's going way out, you're gonna run for it. But if it's
in your area,
on the opposite side of your area, your guy will just shuffle towards it like that. And most of the time, it won't hit the ball.
Yeah, it wasn't great. The only other tennis game we have is Super Tennis, and I think we thumb downed it as well.
Yeah.
But it's better than this. So thumbs down for David Crane's Amazing Tennis. Not so amazing. Next up, Firepower 2000 is a shooter, a shmup. 2 players simultaneous. One of you is in a tank and the other one is in a helicopter, which was pretty neat.
Yeah, I really actually enjoyed the idea behind this.
Yeah.
Graphically speaking, I think it was pretty great.
I think it looks really good, actually. Yeah, the color palettes are cool. All the sprites look nice. The explosions look good.
If I remember correctly, there wasn't much slowdown either.
No, there was a little, but not a lot. Everything looked fine. Sound-wise,
I think sound was okay.
Yeah, the music was solid.
Yeah, there was music, and then there was what you would expect from a shmup of just
lots of pew-pew and explosions, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, it's almost hard to pay attention to the music when all you hear is bang-bang. But the music was fine and sounded great. The gameplay is where the issues come in.
Yeah, so...
Go ahead.
The helicopter has a distinct advantage over the
tank,
RC or tank, whatever, mainly in that the RC car has to avoid everything on the ground.
Yep.
The helicopter can just fly over everything. It does still get hit by bullets regardless of what plane of existence your thing is on. But the upside to the tank is that it shoots in 4 directions.
Yeah, you can change the direction of your shot.
But I do not think that makes up for how ridiculously difficult it is to avoid everything and control where you're shooting.
My biggest issue with the game, and you can see it right here, is it's zoomed in on the vehicle so much that you can't see the edges of the screens. And so you constantly have to swing back and forth to try and find things like power-ups. And then a lot of times it's so short that stuff is coming on the screen as I think stuff is shooting before it actually gets on screen. And then it crosses the short span of space so fast that it's very difficult to not die. As far as the poor Jeep goes, having to drive around everything, like you mentioned, the helicopter can just fly over. That's a pain in the nuts too. It just failed on gameplay.
We didn't even get past level 1 of this game,
No, we didn't. It was so... I think we made it to the boss at one point, but... Yeah, I
think we made it to the boss a couple times.
It just wasn't great, unfortunately. I mean, there's a lot better shoot-'em-ups that are 2-player co-op. This one was neat. It had a cool gimmick with the 2 vehicles. But I think they just could have done better as far as implementation. Next up, John Madden 93.
I think this is really unfortunate because and I explained this in our review during the video.
Go ahead.
It's a simulation game.
It is.
It's not a football video game. It's a football simulation.
I mean, it is a football video game.
I mean, yes, but it's as much of a football video game as... What was that one game? The F1 racing game?
Oh, F1 racing.
It's as much of a football game as that was a racing game.
Yeah.
Which, they're simulation.
Right. But, yeah, it's... Look,
like, we know, at least I do, that especially when it comes to sports simulation versus normal gameplay, like, there is a difference. Because I've played simulation basketball games and I've played NBA Jam.
There is...
And there's a huge difference.
Oh, pardon me.
And it's unfortunate, really.
It is. I think the difference in play you're looking for, a lot of people term that more fast-paced craziness as arcade gameplay. It's arcade-style basketball in NBA Jam versus, full 5-on-5 basketball. Look, Madden improved on the graphics slightly. It's still kind of choppy. The sound was slightly better. Like everything, it was a very they added these little cutscene-y things. There were incremental improvements across the board, but nothing.
Not enough, in our opinion, to warrant a second game this soon. Because there is, it's 2 more games in the life of the SNES.
Oh no, there's way more. I think Madden exists on the SNES until like '96. And they made a new one every year. They still make them every year. I mean, that's why when you go into a resale store, they're full of sports games because they make a new sports game every year because the team rosters change. It's not great. I mean, this is an opinion-based channel, just as anyone's opinion is, and we're not fans of sports games in general. Although we've given a number of them thumbs up, soccer and baseball.
Especially golf.
I don't think Madden's ever going to get there for us, though. Not until it improves significantly. So 2 thumbs down for Madden 93. Next up is Gunforce. This is a run-and-gun, side-scrolling Contra-type clone.
Now, graphically speaking, other than the massive amounts of slowdown, I think it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, everything looks okay. Is it Contra-level good-looking? I think Contra looked better. The sprites are huge. Your guy's sprites are enormous.
All of the sprites are enormous.
Yeah, which is fine. I don't care about that. They look good. The design looks good. The color palettes are nice. It presents well. The music was pretty decent. The sound was okay. The gameplay suffered. And that's primarily because slowdown. You said it.
Right.
It's choppy as hell.
I will say there is a lot of control in this game.
Yeah.
Like, you have 8 directional shooting. You can shoot below you. It gives you a ton of vehicles, which do different things. Like,
yes, I was going to say that.
You get the helicopter, which you can fly. If you kill the people on the guns,
the turrets,
you can take their turrets and use them.
Yeah, you got that Jeep right there. Every level had some kind of vehicle you could drive.
In my opinion, where it suffered the most was from how short the game was.
Yeah, I'm going to say that it suffers most from slowdown.
Yeah.
Because that does make you kind of go, ugh. It does improve as a single-player game on slowdown because there's less moving stuff on screen. But these kind of games are always funner with another person.
Right.
And then, like you said, the game is very, very short. There's like 6 levels. We beat it in 20 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't even 20 minutes.
Start to finish. It would be a great game for a young kid because they could absolutely finish this game. Particularly if they have a second player with them. There are a limited number of continues, but we didn't hit it.
I mean, I did. I hit my limited number of continues.
But right at the end of the game, so you got all the way there.
And we definitely weren't playing like conservatively or anything.
No, we were just running balls to the wall. The game's not bad. It's just not great.
Right.
And because of the shortness and the slowdown combined, we both did give it a thumbs down.
I would definitely say, even though it is a thumbs down, it's definitely on the higher end of thumbs down.
Agreed. It's on the high end of the thumbs down list. I think, if you have a young kid and they think Contra is cool but frustrating because of how hard it is, then this might be worth looking up for them.
Contra is very frustrating.
Contra is hella hard. But yeah, so 2 thumbs down, but this one is at least worth maybe thinking about. Again, if you like running guns, or if you have a kid, or if you want to enjoy a game with your child, I don't think this is that bad for that. Or you just
suck at games.
Or you absolutely suck and you want to beat a game. So that's Gunforce. And then finally we have Bulls vs. Blazers in the NBA playoffs, 1992. This is
an excellent example of a simulation basketball game.
This is a full-on 5-on-5 basketball game, and you can see immediately how choppy it is. Graphically speaking, I don't think it's terrible.
I don't think it's terrible, but I also don't think it's good.
No, I don't think it's great. It's okay. I think it's okay. The biggest issue is it's actually kind of hard to follow the ball.
It's really hard to follow the ball, especially when there's a dude holding it.
Yeah.
Like when you throw the ball, the screen follows the ball.
But the ball is brown instead of orange, really.
Right. And all of the characters kind of mush together because they're all just 2D flat images.
Very much just blobby. The sound was okay. The music was okay.
Did it have music during the game?
I can't remember, honestly.
I don't think it did.
I don't think it did either. The biggest issue is in gameplay. So, one, it's choppy. Very choppy. Okay. Now, it's not slow down like in a shmup.
It's like frame loss.
Yeah, it's just there's no frames there. It's jumping. So it's a very chopped movement. Your dudes are slow as piss. Like, they're terribly slow. And you get stuck all the time. Because if there's a body in front of you, you just go.
And boy, let me tell you, the CPU stays on you.
Yeah, it does. And you just push against them, never getting anywhere. You're just like running in place, and it's really annoying. We could never steal the ball, no matter how hard we tried.
We were able to intercept it a couple times.
We did block a couple of shots, but we never stole the ball or knocked it out of the other person's
hand. I will
hand.
say, there was a lot of times where you and I would be sitting at the back near the hoop, and we would try to take the ball and prevent it from going in, and it would work sometimes. We would get the ball, but we wouldn't realize we had the ball because it's super hard to tell, and because you're mashing the block button, which
throw
is
the ball across the
chuck the ball across the court, which never makes it in, and typically the other person gets the ball at that point.
Yep, and it is a simulation game. You will get called for traveling penalties, out of bounds. Obviously, there are fouls,
and we were playing on arcade mode. And in simulation mode,
still fouls.
Your players can get fouled out, and they suffer from fatigue.
Yeah. So, again, like on Madden, you have to be a fun version of a sports game for us to enjoy it. And this, because of the frame loss and the janky control and the ball that you couldn't keep, the ball should be bright orange. I don't care if it's realistic. I mean, make that thing glow. We should see the ball no matter where it's at. And also speed up, for God's sakes. I think basketball forever is probably going to be a suffrage for us because we've played NBA Jam. So we know what a good basketball game can be. And unless someone clones NBA Jam, which there are NBA Jam clones on the Super Nintendo, I don't think we're going to be super satisfied with it. So again, 2 thumbs down for NBA Bulls vs. Blazers. That is 10 thumbs down for the 26th set of games.
Is that 10 or was that?
Well, I mean, it's 2 per game. There's 5 games. 10 thumbs down.
I thought you were counting last week
as
well.
No.
At that point, it would be.
We thumbed down a lot last week, too. So that's it. Thanks for joining us. A lot of thumbs down, unfortunately. The only redeeming game on this list is Gunforce. And boy, that's a hardly. So I guess it just is what it is. Thanks a lot. Have a good night, everybody.
See you guys.